Okay, here we are, event planning number 5, I think. Or we're event planning for our event number 4. Anything that we need to remind ourselves of from last week? And that anything, you know, like there's updates, contacting the Plastic Ocean, NGOs, that stuff, if that's coming up, we can do that. Communicating plastics.
It's mostly updates that of action items that we can update now during the call.
Okay. All right, and who would like to take notes?
I cannot this week, so I'm in between the guy.
So by
I don't like taking notes, but I can do it.
Okay.
And also, it's sometimes when I'm talking a lot, I kind of don't take a lot of notes. So
yeah, so the only thing is that if I'm hosting, it's really hard for me to do notes as well. I can do it, but I feel like it really interrupts the flow. So I'll do it. I'll do notes.
I can take notes.
Abe, thank you. Are you at work?
Do it here at the bottom, it looks like. Yeah, I'm at the office today.
Okay. So Abe, you're taking notes. Yeah, and I'm sorry, there's information at the bottom of the agenda for what we do. Yeah. There you go. You're in the right space. Twitter space, main event. Okay. Did somebody already do that?
No, I think this was copied over.
Okay, because it could be. Okay. Anyways, we'll sort it out. Maybe that stuff will just.
I started to fill it up already before the meeting.
Right, thank you.
Okay, that's okay. So you've got, all right. This is what happens when you have a team that works all over the world, different time zones. And
surprise.
Surprise. Let's see what's done and what isn't done. So any other announcements? And it's Monday morning. Welcome. Right off the bat. Let's get going, eh? Right straight to work. It's the beginning of my Monday. I know you guys, a lot of you are already at the end, and Alex and Dan from Cardano Say No Plastic, they're at the end of their day, the very end, 10 o'clock at night. So, all right. So we've done any revision. Are we okay to start with this? Any objection? Put up your hands, because there's so many of us today, I can't actually see everybody. Oh, there we go. All right, no objections. We'll keep going on. Abe, you're up with Twitter Space.
All right. I didn't make it to a couple of meetings last week. So it looks like we have our selected speakers for the Twitter Space from what I'm seeing. Sean and Pike for citizen science, Apocalypsia for reducing plastic waste, and we wanted to talk about the NFT soft launch. Alexa was supposed to be able to join us today. I haven't heard back from her yet this morning. So I'm not sure if she will be able to make the Twitter Space still, but it's pretty conversational and fluid, so we don't really need to look at it as having an agenda as much as having speakers and questions, right, moderating for them. I know Yoram has been working on the NFT a bit, and it looked like we were maybe uncertain, Yoram, if we were gonna have that ready for launch on the Twitter Space, or maybe we'd be taking reservations, I guess.
Yeah, so Damian will join us in 20 minutes, and we have Shlomo and Asaf here. So the overall idea, just that everyone is synchronized, is we have the main event sometime around mid-April, where we are going to, and we said, okay, because we delayed the event in a couple of weeks, let's do a soft event, Twitter Spaces, ID, let's do a soft one, and to do some of the ideas for the event, some discussions, and start the soft launch of the NFT. of Apocalypse. And then 2 weeks, and then basically continue the soft launch for 2 weeks until the main event. And then kind of they'll finalize the soft launch. So that's kind of was the idea. And so the technical wise, I mean, we are in contact with Damien, and also Ebe, you are also in the email, and Melanie and Shlomo and Asaf. And we will wait for Damien to join, and we kind of finalize the technical part. Shlomo have already a couple of options for us to see about the artworks, which he shared here, and he can talk about it in a bit. Yeah, so I mean, that's now the, and I know that you started already to promote it, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
there's
So
yeah.
there's a Twitter post from Friday about the Twitter space, and then on Saturday I posted for the mid-April event. Those have all been shared across the Telegram and seems to have some good engagement and activity so far. Kind of the approach there in my mind is Twitter is how you reach the broadest audience. And if you can tap into their algorithms and hopefully get promoted, you can reach people who wouldn't have seen it otherwise, where Telegram and Discord is usually in engaging the people who are already invested, right? So those are your people already. Those are the C4C crew, if you might say it that way. So the idea would be to harness the power of Telegram and Discord, the people who are already invested, to go to Twitter, amplify that message, and hopefully reach people who aren't connected yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing, I don't know if it's part of the agenda or not, we need to update the meetup so that we can include this Twitter space link. And that's something that I can do. We need to update the meetup with the Twitter space link and a new date, which we either decide today or we give it to the community to help us decide. So hopefully we can come up with that and pin down a date and move forward with that one. Back to the Twitter space, who will host this?
Yes, we need a host.
Yeah, and I've listened in on climate neutral Cardano Twitter space. Don't know which buttons to press.
Yeah,
raise
and
my
so that's
hand.
kind of, yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. Of we really do need two people in here from what I've observed others doing. I do know, for one, to be able to speak, you need to be on a mobile device. It's a Twitter setting where it does not work in a desktop browser to speak. So it all has to be done on a phone. And really what I've seen work well for other people, because there are a lot of mechanical shifting and technological components of bringing people up as speaker, giving them permission rights, seeing their raised hands. There's a lot of back end work that you really need somebody who can co-host, and I'm happy to do that. But we need somebody who can just have their mic on otherwise and keep the conversation going as the main host. And in my mind, I draw a comparison to like a TV host and a producer. You got the producer feeding stuff into their ear, keeping the gears going, keeping the cameras, the mechanics operating. But the host is a personality who knows the subject matter, who's an expert, who can fill in dead air and ask the right questions. So we need somebody who's personable and knowledgeable.
Right. So
Don't all speak. Don't all volunteer at once.
like Joe Rogan and his sidekick or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So see, I feel nervous about hosting it because I don't know how to. I've never been on the Twitter space before. So again, I jump in when nobody else will, and I'll sit back as long as I possibly can. I would like to run through it, maybe take part in a different Twitter space, a pre-Twitter space.
Yeah, I had the same thought, and we could do a trial run of the operations where it's just a space, it might even be able to be private only, and we can toy around with the handing off of the baton and how it looks like from the back end, because I don't have any experience there as well. And I had the same thought, Melanie. Whoever is willing to host as the main host, we can do a simulated Twitter space this week in advance to get a feel for it.
Yeah, because it's Thursday, isn't it? The Twitter
Thursday,
space?
correct.
Okay, Twitter space on Thursday. Okay,
I
so
can
let's.
do, Melanie, I can do the co-hosting. I cannot run as the main host because of my broken English, but I can do all the technical side behind the scenes to give the permissions and everything.
So Abe will take care of that. Abe will do the, and your English, Asaf, I know everybody says they're broken English, but my goodness, I absolutely love listening to your voice. And
Really?
broken English or not, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you speaking in English as opposed to me trying to speak in Hebrew. Oh my God, I'm a slow
Hebrew.
speaker to begin with, Hebrew or Arabic or any other language. I'm a slow speaker in English. It would be painful to hear me in another language. So you felt comfortable hosting the space as, you know, the person that moves the conversation. We have a list of questions to go through. I would absolutely love that.
It feels to me like we have a little bit of a coalescence between Asaf, myself, and Melanie as a matter of last resort. Would you two be available for a separate call today or tomorrow to maybe figure out this responsibility a little bit further, and also the mechanics of it, and do this kind of simulated run? And I think if we are all willing to pitch in together, we can fluidly shift between hosting responsibility and the mechanic component and come off very successful, because that's what I see other Twitter spaces doing, especially when they get quite large. They'll have 2 or 3 people manning the ship. And one worst person will kind of be the main spokesman, and the other person will be the main mechanics person, but it's fluid.
Organizer, yeah.
Conversational, yeah.
How do you feel
moderator.
about that, Asaf? Are you game?
Well, again, to be the main host, it will be very difficult for me because I'm not that confident with my English. So even in Hebrew, I cannot fill the holes with the conversation. You really need to control all the details. So I'm not sure about
what I find helps with me is if I'm hosting, someone else remembers something, or you start carrying on the conversation. It's like, and then I'll jump in and say, I'll interrupt or whatever. And it's like, and remember this, you know, and whatever. And it, you know, it's a little bit difficult because you're specifically working with Shlomo and the NFT. You may not have the bigger picture of the whole event, which I would. And anybody else that's here, just because there's a host or a co-host doesn't mean that we can't pipe in. And if we have that engagement from our own community, it generates engagement from the outside community and makes us a live conversation. So
conversation is the most important piece there too, because I think you can set the bar too high for yourself if you think about it as like an event or a seminar. The point really is to have discussion and to literally just talk about your passions and your knowledge base.
So moving on, we're running out of, like, the agenda thing keeps me going here. Asaf, would you be willing to see where this goes and be the voice?
Again, if it's just as a support, it's fine to be the main host.
No, let's do it, and let's think of it as supporting each other.
All right, sure.
And then that would help. Anybody else want to pipe in on this? And then Abe will work out some other time that we can. Anybody else?
Simulate it. Yep.
I'd be game.
Okay, and Simon, I was hoping you would add your German Austrian accent to this too. So, okay, so there we go. And then Abe.
Melanie, do you want me to take notes or do you want to?
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is what happened.
I offer to help and then you just do the work.
Yeah, I know. See,
Yeah.
this is a problem. Okay, so let's
We'll connect on Discord after this call.
okay, because this
I
is
have one,
go
one
ahead,
question
Yoram.
about the Twitter Spaces. So how we are going to announce, like, okay, so like 3/4 through the call, we are going to announce the NFT launch, or how it's happening normally in Twitter Spaces?
Yeah, I would say partway through, we might like take a break in between speakers. I don't know if we think it should probably go on for about 60 or 90 minutes or closer to 2 hours, but yeah, I would think partway through.
Okay, and then we kind of share a link or something, or and
Yeah.
we say,
So we can practice it a little bit in like the simulated Twitter space between the co-hosts. But yeah, you can pin any tweet to the top of the Twitter space. So that's how links and information is disseminated within them. So we'll need to have a launch tweet prepared or already released so that we can pin it to the top of the space, if that makes sense.
So we have our core team meeting tomorrow as well. Do you want, oh, and that's got a hard stop, maybe a hard stop at the top of the hour. Let's figure this out. And I know you said on Discord, can you also include the Telegram event planning chat, you know, for whatever arrangement? I'm pretty flexible today afterwards to talk more about this. It'll be up to you, Asaf, what your schedule's like, and Abe. And then I'll jump in when you guys can decide.
Sounds good.
So the same time tomorrow can be fine for you. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Well, for me, it's 6 o'clock. The same time as we have this meeting.
Yeah, that's our core team meeting. It could be an hour earlier.
Yeah, sure. I will join it.
Let's connect outside of this call, I would say. I can send a Telegram link and we'll coordinate. Today and tomorrow is pretty good for me too, Melanie.
Okay, so let's we can, right now it looks like tomorrow 1 hour before this meeting time, whatever it was.
No, that doesn't work for me.
Oh, it doesn't work for you. Okay.
It doesn't work for me. An hour, you know, right afterwards. But like I said, I feel like we're taking up a lot of everybody's time to coordinate our own little separate meeting.
I love this, that Alex and Daniel are actually filling in the information ahead of time. So, and then this could also be something, let's do just a quick intro, Alex and Daniel. I know, Daniel, you said that you're really new to Cardano. Alex, how long have you been in Cardano and in Catalyst in particular? And you're on mute. Yeah, there we go.
Hi. I have started in Catalyst for Fund 7 and now for Fund 8. I have the game proposal funded in Fund 7 and now I am Meetup proposed for Cardano no practical this process.
And it looks like my Tran is also here. Alex, thank you so much for jumping in, because so what I saw in our Telegram chat was Alex coming along with the issue of plastic straws, and they have an alternative. I think it's kind of cool to bring this in, that we have, this introduces Catalyst and a particular fund that we're going on right now, and an alternative to one of the issues in plastic. Our event has a lot to do with cleaning up the mess that we've had, reducing it, identifying it, and then we'll see if this can go in. So right now, Daniel, Alex, and we have a Twitter space coming up on Thursday. And if there's some way that you can join into that, maybe that's a really good place to introduce what's going on. What do you think, Abe?
Yeah, I think we need to be mindful with the Twitter space of not just making it a carbon copy of the main event, because then what's the point? I would say the Twitter space, we want to probably keep down to maybe 2 or 3 speakers. Otherwise, we're going to be going for 2 or 3 hours potentially.
Okay,
and
got it.
I think, as Noi mentioned, that really starts to limit people's bandwidth and attention. So I think we want to identify the key players for the Twitter space. Of course, everybody should join on and be engaged and communicative, but I think we should identify our 1 or 2 or 3 key speakers. And what I see so far is potentially Sean and Pike, but also I think the Apocalypsia makes perfect sense with the NFT launch, right? Like, I feel like those are 2 must-haves. And so we're probably deciding on our last 2 or 3 speakers.
Okay, so if anything happens with Cardano Say No, it's going to be a very small part in the main event. All right, so Alex and Daniel, I'm going to give you, we've just met in the elevator. I'd like you to give me a 1-minute elevator pitch on what you're up to and how this might fit into an event on plastics and Cardano. How's that? And I thank you so much for your notes, by the way.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. We are going to make product from 100% natural and environmentally friendly. It's all from grass, and it's called Gabang, the Vironia articulata, and it's gonna be like this, and it will be replacing the use of the plastic straw. As my project, you can go in and then see the videos of how the plastic straw is destroying the marine life. And this is not about the plastic straw, it's other plastic product too, but we firstly go with the straw. And then, by the way, we are driving the acceptance of using ADA in real life activity, like buying stuff, buying goods, and we can create more job opportunity for the worker, the labor work at the local, where we can use this. As you can see, this is our packaging. Oh my God, you see it?
Yeah, those great virtual screens, they do wonderful things to us.
Let me turn off it a little bit messy, but
so you know what else you can do is, okay, what else you can do is drop your link to the proposal in the chat. And also put it in the agenda. And then in the meantime, the rest of us can take a look at this and figure this out. We have this meeting next week, and there should be exactly at least 1 more or 2 before our main event. So please come in, quick intro right now, last minute, great to have you here. And then I'll leave it up. You're in the event planning Telegram chat. I hope, Alex, you should share that with Daniel and anybody else, and then we'll just see where this goes, okay? I won't make any promises right now. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So let's move on. Main event summary. We don't have to solidify any of this yet. Maybe we can go in. We have Shlomo, and I'm wondering if Damien's here yet.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So how about we swap the plan and talk about the NFT soft launch? Would that work?
Yeah, excellent idea. And maybe we can start with Shlomo that he show us what is in his mind and what's the options, and then go into Damian to coordinate the
Do you need
technicality.
to share the screen?
Yeah, well, I have some problems. I'm using now two computers because one of my computer, the camera doesn't work, and the other one I can hear you. So I'm combining. I don't know. Anyway, either Asaf or Yoram, can you show the samples which I sent to you? I can't show it right now. Can
And
you do that?
Asaf, I'm going to make you co-host. Anybody else needs to be co-host. Abe.
Okay, so it's already in the chat. I've uploaded the two files so you can see it. We have the whale
Okay.
and the adoption. You see those files?
Let me just see. We've got, oh, do you know what? I don't know how to open those.
Just click to open.
Let me share my screen.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Oh,
Okay, you try
see
to
what
do it.
happens is it ends up having to download. Yoram, let me make you co-host. All right, we can do this. If Shlomo can work off of two computers, we can do this. So Yoram,
Both of them are not working.
piecemeal.
Okay, tell me if you see my screen.
Got it.
All right, here they
Perfect.
are.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Please,
So
Shlomo, you want to talk about them? Yeah, sorry.
Yes, there's two lines of works here. One, the left one, which is the whale jumping out of the bottles, the plastic bottles, which is the surface of the sea. This is one line of work. The other one, the plastic bottle will change into a fish. This is a matter of fact, my saying, because I don't know if you can see the subscription under the picture. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Anyway.
The only creatures who will survive in the future are those who adapt themselves to the evolving environment today. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
This is one of the line that I'm going to show. It's going to be a full line that show how creatures change themselves into the environment. This is today. This is the environment of today, not tomorrow. That's the reason they are changing for the future. And that's the way they are going to look at the future. So anyway,
Wow.
these are two samples. Now, one of them, we can choose which one to start with.
Yeah, so the idea, again, just to come back, so the idea is that we choose one of them and for the event, and everyone that comes to the event from the soft launch of the Twitter Spaces until the event can get one of these for a minimum cost, let's say, that costs us to mint it, until any donation that he wants to give to an NGO. So it can be, we can say it can be, if you want 50 ADAs or 1,000 ADAs that goes to an NGO to clean out the oceans, and you will get the NFT, one copy of the NFT in exchange. So that the limit edition of the NFT will be depends on the number of people coming. Okay? And that kind of will start group together the community around plastic and oceans for the future launch.
So we'll stay to one NFT, correct? And not a second one with a fixed price on it? Was that the idea?
For the trip?
It's just for the call, right?
For the Twitter space.
Yeah, maybe in the event we can already launch, yeah, but that depends what everyone thinks. Or we do the launch of the other NFTs a month after the event, kind of the features and so on. Mm-hmm. But that's, we can brainstorm about that. But for the Twitter spaces, I think let's go simple also because we are speaking 4 days from now. That's my idea.
Okay, so
Damian, what do you think?
Yes.
Sorry, please.
No, that's okay. One NFT based on a minimum donation. It can be anything that you want. I think that's great. It's a beautiful place to begin. And Damien, sorry, go ahead.
I think it's a good idea. It's a minimum donation and it's unlimited. Yes, people can mint any number of NFTs. for that first one. Yeah, I think it's good to launch in the Twitter space and use and continue that during the event and mid-April, and then I think later in the event we can Shlomo and Asaf can talk about the whole collection, and that's it. And later we can make the launch of that. But I think it's great to start this this Thursday and continue to the event, and then later, because maybe during the event a lot of people see that and continue to donate to that specific NFT, and then I think it's better to continue during the event too. That
okay, that's a good idea, but I think Yoram suggested that it will be kind of fear of loss when you miss the Twitter space, and
yeah,
if we want to get a lot of audience, but we can keep it open. We can say that anyone that will join us will get it with the donation of the amount that we choose.
Right.
Anyway,
So
I set up a new wallet for you. I got your email with the technical details, and I already suggested that we will choose one of the two images. What do you think?
so one
Yeah.
image, and have we decided it's going to be released at the Twitter space, and it goes through to the event and then it's cut off? No more minting of that particular image, or will it be an
Just-
ongoing
Just
minting?
for this specific NFT, but Damian suggested that we will keep this policy open, and we will use it for the full fish plastic collection. So it will give us just an idea how people invest
Yeah.
in it, and then we can take it from there.
Okay, so again, to be clear, it'll start, you'll launch it at the Twitter space, and by the end of the event, that's the last minting of this particular NFT.
Yeah, just for this specific one.
Perfect. And then you can take it, the same policy, and use it on the next NFT, whatever that might be, and introduce the whole system that way, plus the
Yeah.
NFT that has a fixed price. You know, your whatever you're putting on those ones, the premium collection, even though all of your stuff is premium. I don't know how you can pick. I can't.
No, I mean, I think that the one that's called adoption.
Yeah,
Adoption, that's the right word.
Yeah.
Right?
adoption, right.
So this one will also connecting to the next collection, which is the biggest
Right.
plastic fish. So I think this is what I would choose. But tell me, what do you think?
Okay, so let's put it to a vote and see. We're talking the fish turning into the plastic bottle as the one that gets released. Yoram, you came off mute. Do you have any suggestion or something?
No, that's good. I mean,
Okay.
I think yeah. No, please. Good for
So
good for me.
hands up if you think that's going to be the right one to release.
Which one?
Not the which
Not
one
the
was
whale. The
not the
whale
whale,
is
yeah.
the
No.
whale is part of the original collection, but this one would be it. Okay,
The
I see.
adoption.
Yeah, 3 or 4,
Let's call it
Damien.
the adoption. Okay.
Adaption. Is it adaption
Adoption,
or
yes.
adoption?
I don't know. Whatever.
Because they're both very adaption.
It's going to be a disaster anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Disaster, exactly. We're adopting a disaster, or we're adapting to a disaster. It's interesting that
Yeah,
it's
well,
both. Okay, so
yeah.
hands down for a second. Yoram, you too as well, unless you want to say something, that could also be it. I'm going to assume that you are okay. So is there any objection to releasing or any thoughts on releasing this particular NFT? got about 30 seconds to decide. Okay, I think that was pretty easy, and that wasn't 30 seconds, sorry, but I think we're going with that one. If that's
Read the room.
Okay, so
that's good.
Damian, I will send you the full file and the wallet address as well. We need to speak about the donation part, the amounts, Yoram, what we discussed, and also Damian asked about the royalties.
Yeah, so the royalties is for the minting company, right? For
The
the
royalties for the secondary market. It's what happens when the person that buys that mint NFT can put it to sell. So anytime a second person buys it, the creator can collect royalties. So
I don't have any expertise on that, so I don't know. I mean, I think if it's selling in the secondary market, kind of, and it doesn't go to the NGO, the royalties can be high from my perspective. I mean, what's important is the first payment, where most of the money go to the NGOs, right?
Yeah.
And but the second, if then someone that bought it and wants to sell it, I think the royalties can be high in this case because it doesn't go to an NGO. So
can it go to the NGO though? Because that's my question. Can it continue?
Yeah.
So I've bought this NFT and it's like, oh my goodness, 80% went to an NGO. I want to sell this NGO to my neighbor. She knows that a good percentage goes to the artist so that Shlomo gets rewarded and everything gets covered admin wise. And then she can, my neighbor can go ahead and also donate this way. To me, this is incredible. If we can have that as part of the contract, whenever it sells, a portion of it goes to, and it'll be either a fund that we disperse, or it's actually at some point or another, maybe we can start connecting it to an NGO directly. So we don't have to manage that part of it. And then there's that transparency as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's a great idea. And one of the things we spoke with Asaf yesterday is, what the right percentage is, right? So that we need to decide. So one of the idea was to say until a certain amount, let's say to cover Shlomo work and the admin, there will be a certain percentage. And when this amount is reached, right, the percentage can go significantly down, right? So let's say until a certain amount that you cover is a certain amount, it will be 20%. And then when you get that, it will be 5%. But anyway, a lot of the money will, 10%, but then half of the money will go to the foundation that then support other projects. If that makes sense, I don't know, again, I don't know how it's done, but then at least we make sure that the people that are doing the work in Shlomo are getting paid. And then if it goes bananas like crazy, like we hope it to go, so more and more in terms of percentage goes basically to the projects. So but we guarantee kind of the first, the basic payment.
So
if that makes sense?
It's also an open question for you as a
It's an open question, yeah.
What would you expect for the project to really donate when you put your money into that cause?
Well, there's two. There's the artist, like there's the artist, what you expect out of this, and also what a buyer expects. And Damien, I'm assuming that in the smart contract, these are formulas that are fixed and they're basically a percentage. Is that correct?
Yeah, you need to fix a percentage and a wallet address. That is not possible to change that in the future. Maybe it could be the same wallet address for the first accumulation of
the
donations.
Same one,
the same one, exactly.
Well, it would be, in my mind, it would be good for both. You have one wallet that says this is going to be going to the artist, and a second wallet so that it doesn't get muddled up, and a second wallet that goes, this is going to be, because then we can show where it goes, an NGO. If you put them both in the same wallet, You don't
No,
know.
I think you missed it, Melanie, because
Okay.
the royalties will come to the artist only if there will be a second sales. And we don't want this case. We want Shlomo and Demian and the admins to get their part, even if we just mint it and no one sells in the secondary markets.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
think
yeah, it could be the same one or not. Yeah, it's
What do they need
I
to
know.
get? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
what's your question?
I don't understand why we. I mean,
Okay,
Melanie
so
just
we
said
have-
we can have two different wallets, right?
No, I'll explain it. We have the first minting income, okay, and then again we need to see what the amounts that they will donate. And if all of them keeps the NFT for life, no one sells it in the secondary market, no one puts it to sell, so there are no royalties at all. Even if you put in the contract 10% or 20 or whatever, there is no royalties because everybody keeps it. The only
So
option
that can't be part of the smart contract in the first sale. That every time it sells, like including the first sale, a percent goes as royalty and a percent goes, maybe I don't understand how the smart contract
we
goes.
don't need to do that because we have one wallet address that we will see all the donations. You know, it's the blockchain, it's open. We see all the transactions. We see how much anyone donated. We don't know who is it, but we know the address and how much he donate.
But I mean, can't we still do it separately? Would it still make sense to have that mechanism, even though we know how many donations we're getting and that is all public? Because I mean, it's another function really. So if someone wants to donate to the cause, right?
Yeah.
They donate, but if they want to buy the NFT, then that's a different thing, isn't it? Or am I?
Oh, okay. So that's another scenario. We didn't think about it. There's no option to donate without getting an NFT. I think that you are.
Oh, okay. Then that's
yeah.
fine.
And anyone that will donate will get automatically an NFT to the same address he donated from.
All right.
Okay.
Good to know. Sorry, I didn't get that.
That's the idea of giving them giving them back instead of just donating. They get the NFT back. So
Damien, can you explain to us how you see this happening? How the contract works in this end?
Yeah, the royalties is like Asaf explained. The royalties is that happens when secondary market sell happens only. At the beginning, at the main drop or the main minting or the first minting, the minting services use the total income from the person and only use the part that to pay the fees for minting and and use, for example, 1.5 ADA to send the NFT to the person that donates, and that's it. The whole ADA that is donated will go to the address that we give them. Only is consumed the part that is necessary for the minting fees and the sending fees, yeah, basically, and that will be all together in one wallet. And then for secondary market, we can use the same wallet where we can mix. There we are mixing the royalties from secondary market and the donations, or we can separate in two wallets. It's the same, but that wallet will be managed by Asaf or Shlomo. In any case, then it's more or less the same if it's all together in one or it's in two. But because it's not, I don't know if it's possible at this time to have an address from an NGO directly to go send data there. I think it's not possible. Or I don't know if some NGOs have some address to receive data directly. then I think up to now the mechanism is to accumulate everything in a wallet, and then Asaf or Shlomo send that correspond to the NGO. But it's not possible to make it up to now directly. And the problem is that if we maintain, but it's not a problem, but if we maintain the policy ID for the whole collection, the address to the royalty address will be ever the same, because it's not possible to change it later.
Anyway, it will be one address that we publish it on the website. They can check the policy ID, they can check the address to see everything on the blockchain. So it's very
So basically, what happens is the money that comes in, part of it goes to the minting and the rest goes to one wallet. And from there, the resale now of the NFT, that also goes to that wallet?
Yeah. Everything, all the income comes to that wallet.
Okay,
Everything
and then from that wallet, you're going to see that this sum goes to this NGO, this goes to this NGO.
Right.
It's not as decentralized as I was thinking that it could be, with percentages off the smart contract, but it is what it is, and we're going to work with it. If you guys end up being scammers and taking off with the money, we just won't deal with you anymore. So there's this level of trust, at this point, that we trust you, who you are, and this is where we have to begin. And then we experiment with this and keep going. I think it's an excellent idea. And with that being said, I'm sorry to be the timekeeper. It's 10 minutes to, and out of respect for time, I think we have a couple more agenda items. Where do we go? Yoram. You're on mute.
Simon just raised his hand, so I don't know.
Okay, Simon, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so actually, I don't think we have to trust them. I think we could give them our address, and then we would have control over the address, if that is an issue, just saying.
Yeah,
but,
no. This is, it's got to go to Asaf and Shlomo. We're helping them promote. We're trying to do a win-win with everybody and make it, completely transparent and easy, so there's no admin. But, as far as I understand, we have to have humans somewhere in there. And this is where human to human, we trust each other. So, yeah.
Okay, so next to the...
Sorry. I don't know, do we have time for something? Because, I mean, you know it, Yoram, I've created something in GitHub.
Yeah, but this is for the tasks, right? But this is for the task. This is for the core meeting.
Yeah, so this is event, and we've got 7 minutes.
It is for the sustainability event, actually.
Okay, so let's leave that on the side. That's another whole meeting that we have to actually arrange on the tasks. Let's do that. Perfect.
This is for the task, right, Simon? You mean? Yeah. On this, I suggested to Karim to have a separate meeting completely. I mean,
we'll schedule that. Definitely have to do that separate. Okay, Yoram, you had something else you were going to say?
No, I mean, the NGO is important, right? I mean, I don't know if you, because I lost you now for 5 minutes because the person left that came to help me here. But the NGO, so the status of the NGO, so Ebe and myself, we basically reached out to Plastic Oceans, the founder. He's also working on a new film. Apparently, it's a huge success. He got like 17 rewards on the film. I mean, it's massive, and he's working on a new film called The Last Glacier. So I need to follow up on him, but we might not have them for Thursday confirmed. He wants to connect us now with the CEO of Plastic Oceans, and it will be a process. So I think overall, it's a great idea to connect the communities. I mean, I'm sure they have a huge community, but we need to do it smart and tough. Things will take some time. So yeah, maybe we can mention that for now we will get the money into a foundation, basically into the kind of keeping the wallet with keeping this wallet, and after all, and then we will decide where to send the money, and that we are evaluating organization like Plastic Oceans, specific program. So instead of saying we are going to send it to them, just say that That's the line we are working on, and we hope to announce it by the event. So that's one point which is important. So I'm going to follow up again on them now. But I don't think we'll be ready for Thursday unless we have a couple of other examples of organizations. So that's one point. The second thing which I think,
for Thursday's event, we leave it wide open. We are supporting ocean cleanup, and we don't have to identify anybody at this point. That works, right?
Yeah, we can say we are working on the organization and discussing with few, and I'm going to select the one, and yeah, people will need to trust us that we will select the right one.
And then we'll do that by the event.
Hopefully, I mean, we'll do by event. We need to have a backup plan if single plastic ocean doesn't go as we wish. So we need a backup plan. So any ideas there would be great. I mean, we have the organization that Shlomo suggested of the lady that works in Israel, and she says it's part of a global organization, or that people do it all over the world. So that can be another one, Shlomo, if we can evaluate this one. And if people have other ideas.
Asaf talked to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Asaf,
I
you spoke to her, right?
Yes. I think you preferred somebody not in Israel. So
I think in if it's a global organization that is also in Israel, I mean, that's fine, right? I mean, Israel.
It's not a global one. It's not a global one. But I can bring her to the next call if you wish.
Yeah, let's bring her, of course. I mean, we'd love to hear her. And I'm sure she's doing a great job. Okay. So anyway, that's something that we need to think of and think if we have other organizations in mind. I think the plastic one, the one that the reason that is great, because eventually if we kind the right deal with them, we can also promote it to their audience, which will be probably very, very big. And I think it's important. And second, obviously, it's very interesting also for the Cardano Foundation to take part. And in general, I spoke with Cardano Foundation 2 days ago about that, and they will be happy to see if they can support this conference. I have a follow-up call with them tomorrow in the morning. Basically, Alex is based in Geneva, so we are catching up quite often. But that's something that they can also help to promote. And that will be wonderful, I think. So the only thing is some time pressure. I think all the right players are coming. It's just a question of the timing and being able to get it done for the 14th, for the middle of May.
It segues into the next thing. We haven't set the date. We said mid-April. Do we want to get community input for the date, or do we want to just go ahead and pick a date that feels good for us, that's hopefully not too busy with Catalyst schedule, which I'm not really watching right now?
Easter, Passover, we have holidays, mid-April.
In April.
Yeah.
Yeah, in April there is Easter, right? That's the
Easter, and you have Leila Seder.
Pesach, yeah.
And what dates are those? Like, is that?
The 15th is the dinner.
Okay,
the
so
Israeli one, the Jewish
14th is not a good day to be doing this then. So maybe we need to go to the 21st. How does that feel?
First of all, the 15th is a good day, so we have excuse not to be in the dinner holiday, no?
No, and I'm thinking about you, Asaf mentioned something about preparing a meal for the 15th. That means
it's
there's
a big
work
meal.
involved. So there's whoever's preparing the meal is not going to be at this meeting, or they're going to be really annoyed. So I don't want to put pressure on the cooks. Otherwise, the meal will not turn out nicely. So let's consider the 21st. Right. And that's also what, a Thursday, is that correct? Thursday, and it would be the 3 p.m. UTC, 3 or 4 p.m. UTC. Does that work? Or do we just, or do we just leave that date for now? we can say in our meetup that the next event is planned after the middle of April.
Yeah, when is Easter? Easter is also around that date, right? When is 18 or 17? When is Easter?
Yeah, it's that weekend, that Sunday afterwards.
Okay, so 21st is there's no worries there for the 21st for the Easter, right?
I like the 21st. I think it's nice to formalize a date and just start coalescing around it. I don't think we need community input from it.
Okay, so April 21st, 3 p.m. UTC. Does that work?
Yep.
For all the important people here?
Yeah, for me it works.
Okay, let's go
Tomo,
with,
Damien, Asaf, does it work for you?
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Alright,
let's go with that.
sure.
Put it on the meetup. Damien, sorry.
No, it's okay for me, 21st.
Okay. And Tyler, you're here. I realize as well, nice and quiet. Hopefully that's going to work for you. Next event, that gives us one more week in there for event planning and figuring out this. I'm going to just say, Alex and Daniel, I'm going to suggest that you go to the YouTube channel, watch last week's event planning, watch our events, the previous 3 events, and what we would have for you, if anything, would be a 5-minute slot and possibly a breakout room. So if you think that this might work for you and you could do a really quick presentation, 3 or 4 slides within 5 minutes, we can give you a breakout room. So I don't know how you feel about that, Yorm, but I think maybe that's what we offer everybody. Yeah. And our main event, we're going to try and keep to 1 hour. So that means that Daniel or Alex, if you do come in and take longer than 5 minutes, it's cutting into somebody else's time. So we're going to be somebody there is going to have a whip and keep us on time so that, so I like this. Abe, did you just put that in red?
Yeah, to-dos. Got to make sure people know what's got to be done. I'm very task oriented.
Fabulous. Okay, so we do need to, we're at the top of the hour. We're going to close up. Was there anything else really important off the agenda that we needed to cover? Not specific to the event, more Twitter space and meetup.
No, the promotion,
So
right? We spoke about the promotion of so everyone need to promote it. And Asaf also, if you give him the Twitter, Ebe Asaf can also promote it in his channels.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in the Telegram groups. I formatted it so that it's got a little message and then the link to Twitter post. And if you just copy and paste that, you can take it anywhere. There's no image associated with it or anything. It's just literally copying a text message, basically.
That's the status you already shared in the chat, right?
Correct. Yep. So there was one from Friday that was the Twitter space. And then one I shared this morning that was for the April event. Both of those should be broadcasted as broadly as we can.
Yeah, I will do it with my 20 accounts.
Nice.
Bingo. Tap into that network.
we're going to be into the thousands of images or whatever it is that those Twitters do.
Yeah.
The twittering.
The twittering. Okay, so marketing for now, this is the big one, is the Twitter. We get that out there and go for it. I think we're pretty good. What do you guys think? How are you feeling about that?
Feels good.
Sure. Can you share this document so we can see the to-do list for us?
Absolutely. We'll put it in there into the chat.
All right. Thank you.
And with that, how did the meeting go? Copy link. See how slow I do this.
I think one thing that is important, first of all, the meeting went great. I mean, although we had some new guests and speakers, which is great. Simon, one thing, I mean, we're trying now to move or work more organized, so kind of to have the agenda before. I think that's important. I mean, I want to hear, and Simon is still here with us?
No, Simon had to leave at the top of the hour. So
Okay. So yeah, so we are
Excuse me.
trying to do the agenda before in organized way, and that's great.
Excuse me,
thank
guys.
you, everyone.
I have to leave now. So
Okay, thank
sorry.
you,
Okay.
Shlomo.
Thank you,
Shlomo,
all,
very
and
much.
See you. Bye.
Okay. thank you.
Shlomo, one question for you. Are you happy with what we discussed from your perspective?
Yes, sure,
Okay.
of course. No problem. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank
All right,
you.
love your work.
Thank you.
Amazing.
All right. Yeah, so having the agenda ahead of time, I tried to put it out there so everybody else would fill it in over the weekend and see what happens, because otherwise I do it late Sunday night and create this agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, but most people don't feel comfortable or don't know kind of right to take the lead. So Eb now, yes, Karim, Simon, you, me, but obviously the new people don't feel yet comfortable. But everyone is welcome. So that's a message that you need to know to take part in that. Yeah.
Okay.
No mistakes.
Who's doing the landing page or a website for the project, Yoav? Is it something you already discussed?
There's two. It's a good question. I don't know. First of all, I don't know. This is one, and second, we need. No, sorry.
Sorry, is this related to the NFT? Because maybe we need to wrap up the event planning and let everybody go. We can also carry on afterwards if you need to.
I
Yeah,
need to understand from Demian. Will you give us an address where anyone will donate to that wallet and will get the NFT back, Demian?
If we use the BuffyBot services, they create a page like I shared yesterday. They create a page with their system, and then
Yeah,
they
but
redistribute.
I saw that they charge 20%. It's much higher than the rest of the platforms. Do you think it's legit?
No, because of that. No, yeah, they made that way for other projects because they manage the front end, the back end, everything. You don't need to make anything on the drop. But for this drop in particular, he say that they basically made it for free for this one. But yeah, because of that, I write to you in the chat to talk in detail about that. Because if we have to, if you decide to make to maintain the policy ID, then I think you need to use their services for the whole collection, and then it's necessary that you talk with them about that whole collection. Yeah. Other ways to use is to use like you are making for the hosting tools using the API. The difference between the NFT Maker API and BuffyBot is that BuffyBot is in charge of everything.
Yeah, but there's no API at all with the hosting tools. It's just an address that I set up, to collect funds. And that's it. They just charge 2 ADA on top of the 2 ADA that's returning to the minter. But I think this is the cheapest. I thought that you have the code that we will not have to use the NFT maker. So we will use your contract and just, give them back the NFT. But I'm not sure I'm synced with you now. So tell me what.
So just before, we do need to wrap up this event planning because now we're going into NFT. Would you like to start another meeting right away and deal with this? Okay, so we'll use, I'll put a link in the chat, or you two can, Asaf and Damien, I think this is probably more related to you specific.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I will stay as well. But yeah.
Okay,
Can we just stay?
Yeah, Alex, but let's finish off the meeting first so that we can close that out. Alex and Mai, thank you so much for coming. Abe, you're off the hook for any further unless you want to stay. I'm going to head out.
No, I will too. Asaf, can I ask real quick, what's your Telegram handle so I can coordinate for the Twitter space?
I wrote it for you here in the chat. ASI 2020.
Perfect. I saw that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so great. Thank you for that. And Alex has left. I'm going to kick you out of the meeting unless you can pipe up and say that you're interested in this and you want to learn some more. Please feel free to do that. But otherwise, yeah, and we'll stop the recording.